I've been streaming on Twitch for a while now, and I've reached a plateau in my viewership. I'm happy with where I am, but I want to find a way to push through and continue to grow. So I started reaching out to other streamers to get some advice. Some of the most consistent feedback that I received was that I need to make a Twitch banner, something to stick out and really grab people's attention. Now I wanted to make sure I went about this in a smart way, so the first thing I did was head on over to Twitch to do some research and see what kind of streams seem to be doing well right now. I know I'm way too old to go pro in any video game, and playing games poorly probably isn't the best avenue for me to take to try to break the 20 average viewer hump. I seem to do my best in just chatting streams, so that's where I headed first, to do some important research. Almost immediately I noticed a pretty strong trend in the just chatting space, and that is, sex sells. Alright, now that I had that information, I needed to figure out what to do with it. Sure, sex sells, but that doesn't make it a surefire path to success. I needed to build off of this and take things a step further. So it was time for more research. I needed to find out what the largest demographic on Twitch was so I could really appeal to the largest audience possible. After a quick Google search, I had all the information I needed to feel confident in my approach. Nearly 50% of all Twitch viewers are between the ages 18 and 34. 27 is the median age between 18 and 34, so I decided that's the target I would zero in on. A little backstory about me. I'm just about to be turning 30 years old. I watched the original Space Jam movie when it first came out at the age of 5, but it wasn't until I was 10 years old when I had my first sexual awakening and developed a borderline concerning attraction to Lola Bunny. So naturally, with this first-hand experience, I drew the conclusion that most people have their first sexual awakening between 9 and 12 years old. Perfect. I now had a clear direction for how I was going to sell my sex. I headed back over to Google to try to find iconic sex symbols that were popular between 2003 and 2007. Sure enough, I had a hit. In 2005, Jessica Simpson played the character Daisy Duke in the Dukes of Hazzard film. That was my angle. That is how I would sell my sex. So, I had my look. The outfit would be easy, but some aspects proved to be more of a challenge. I knew that pasty white skin wasn't exactly the most desirable thing to offer, so I had to get a tan. Unfortunately, I don't do well in the sun, and time was a pressing issue. I needed a hand tackling this, so that's when I decided I would reach out and try to get a spray tan lined up in an attempt to save precious time. After reaching out to a few sellers on Facebook, I had my appointment all booked and was one step closer to selling my sex. Or at least I thought. Turns out the artist I had hired to bronze this beef had a real job as well, and that took priority over my beautification, and she bailed an hour before I was supposed to get golden. Having to quickly come up with a solution, I headed over to the local pharmacy to try to find some self-tanner to get me out of this mess. Luckily, with some help from a very nice lady in the beauty department, I was back on track. I was also warned that body hair might be an issue with the self-tanner. Anyways, with my bronzer and my new knowledge, I headed home to get ready for my big photo shoot. The first thing I did when I arrived home was immediately shave my body. I did not want to risk my last-minute solution failing, so I shaved before testing. Never shave before testing. After shaving myself, it was time to start applying the self-tanner. Now, I know the name self-tanner implies that you apply it yourself, but I was worried that'd be too time-consuming, so I got my friend, whom I haven't seen in 18 months, to apply the tanner all over my body. I'm a man with many nooks and plenty of crannies, so it was better to have help with this task. Once I was all bronzed up, the last thing I needed to complete my new look was a fresh new do. Not wanting to pay any more money on this Twitch banner on the off chance that it was a flop, I decided I would let Self-Tanner Boy cut my hair. After what felt like forever, my new hair was done, and it was time to get the last few things prepped before the big photo shoot. Balloons. That's the big prop I decided to go with. Mostly because I'm cheap and I thought it would be easy to pull off. Turns out nowhere will fill outside balloons, so I had to buy a helium tank and spend much more than I wanted to. That's what you get for choosing a lame prop. With the balloons all ready to go, all that was left to do was to put the whole outfit together and head to location to execute the photo shoot. And hopefully, successfully, sell my sex. We got to location and quickly unpacked our props and started shooting right away. Neither myself or my cameraman had even the slightest clue what we were doing, so we took an ungodly amount of photos. But, with a little patience, imagination, and subpar Photoshop skills, the banner was made. Here it is, in all its sexy glory. Well, there you have it, folks. That is the full story behind the scenes. The sexy Twitch banner. No one requested this video, but I feel it could be helpful for a lot of people. If you like what you saw, maybe you should come check me out live sometime. I stream over on twitch.tv/chubsdoesroids. I want to thank everyone for taking the time to watch this. This was the first time I've ever done a video that was dubbed. Turns out the audio on my camera was fucking scuffed, and I had to completely improvise the script for this video because I couldn't use any of the audio from the footage that I shot. So this is what we got. This is what you get.